So, have you been thinking about visiting LA, but you're a little concerned over the previous events? While it's true that some areas have recently faced challenges, the heart of LA, including the beautiful Santa Monica, remains vibrant and welcoming. This is Hazel's Hostels, where I guide you through hostels around the world so you know where to stay, what's worth your money, and how to make the most out of your trip. Today, I am taking you to one of Santa Monica's best kept secrets. Sitting just blocks away from the iconic Santa Monica Pier with its games and roller coasters, and the lively Third Street Promenade. Whether you're a solo traveler or rolling with friends, this spot nails that perfect mixture of affordability and unbeatable location. You are truly surrounded by everything you need. Craving a bite? There's a taco truck right outside. And if you're feeling fancy, North Italia is literally next door. Need a quick supply run? There's a mini Target within walking distance. And just a few blocks over, you'll find the outdoor mall packed with even more food and shopping. And if you forget your swimsuit, Sand and Surf on the corner has you covered. And how to get here is actually pretty simple, even if you don't want to take an Uber or taxi. If you're coming into LA by train, you're gonna end up at Union Station. So you just take the subway, which ends up being the light rail, all the way to Santa Monica. And if you're flying in, there are buses that will take you straight to the Santa Monica station. Once you're at the station, you just exit, cross the street, walk a few blocks, and take a right. You're gonna walk another few blocks until you see the Sand and Surf, and then you'll cross the street. Something kind of cool about Santa Monica is they have diagonal crosswalks. So you're just gonna walk straight across the diagonal, and it'll be down the street after the restaurant on your left. And while I wish this wasn't true, I actually had like a few issues with check-in. I first arrived around 1 p.m. and since check-in wasn't until 3, I dropped my bags off, and when I returned later, my bed still wasn't ready. They did give me my key card and I could hang out in the lounge area, but my bed wasn't ready until like 5:30. I do get that a lot of places are short-staffed right now. However, if I had had plans, this could have messed a lot of stuff up. While there were plenty of foreign travelers that seemed to get by pretty fine, everyone seemed to kind of have to have the basics of English. So if you're not comfortable with English, that might be something to keep in mind. And this is America, so let's talk security. To start out, there is a security guard on duty 24/7. You'll need to scan your key card to get in, so you'll actually be able to relax knowing the place is secure. I know that LA is pretty well known for crime because I used to live here, but this area overall is one of the safer ones. Now, if you're planning to use the public transportation in LA, I just want to know that's kind of a different story. The key here is to just stay like super aware of your surroundings and just kind of keep a lookout for anyone a little unstable. The layout of this hostel is actually pretty cool. Starting on the first floor, you're gonna walk in and see the check-in desk. To your right is the staff rooms and luggage storage. To your left is a large room with seats and an ATM. There's also an extra room that they open up for mic night and comedy nights and other shows, but otherwise it's just closed off. You also have the stairs, the elevator, the lounge area, restrooms, laundry, a cafeteria and kitchen, and then of course the courtyard. Moving up to the second floor, you're gonna have the rooms, bathrooms, library, and a theater room. Going up to the third floor, you have male and female restrooms and the dorms. And then of course you have the exact same on the fourth and fifth floor. And a special note for this hostel specifically, the stairs are the best way to get around. And it helps that they painted the layout right next to them. There's still an elevator if you need it, but it will be so much faster using the front stairwell to get around. The lobby and lounge areas are kind of scattered about. The front lobby itself is pretty spacious. Off to the side, there's a seating area specifically for people who haven't checked in yet. It's a good spot to wait with a few plugs to charge your devices and an ATM. There are also some extra benches closer to the front door if you need a quick place to sit. Once you get your key card, you just tap it against this door and you'll step into the main hallway and elevator area. But if you keep going, you'll find this cozy little fireplace lounge with couches and high tables, a perfect spot to relax. One thing I really appreciate about this hostel is they actually cared about recycling. Right by the door, you're gonna see trash bins labeled for different types of waste. And one of my favorite things about this place is the beautiful natural lighting. Even if you just want to hang out inside, the sunlight fills the space, making it feel warm and inviting. But if you'd rather be outside, there's a great outdoor seating area. They even have these big green pads, and at night, I'd lay down and just stare up at the lights. And since this is sunny California, if you time it right, you can even lay out and get a tan. But let's say that's not your vibe. There's still a lot more to check out upstairs. Right at the top of the stairs, you're gonna find a small library room. It's got books, high seating, and a conference desk in case you need to plan a group activity. And just around the corner, there's a theater room. I mean, it's a simple setup, a large TV, and some leather chairs, but at night, it actually turns into a really cool little hangout spot. However, if you want to put something on, you have to go downstairs to get the remote. The dorm rooms are all located on the upper floors, and you're gonna need your key card to access them. This was actually one of my first hostels with traditional bunk beds. I tend to prefer the cubby style, but honestly, these rooms are still really nice. You've got light switches by the doors, a few extra hooks for towels and other belongings, and each room has its own aircon. They also separate the dorms into male and female, and I'm assuming this is cisgender. So if you're trans, I would say it might be worth reaching out to make sure that they can accommodate you. However, if this is something you don't want to do, check out my other Cali hostels, which tend to go for the mixed dorm style. I stayed in the 8-person dorm, but there's also a 6, a 4, and if you're with a partner, you can get a private double bed. You get a plush blue blanket, a pillow, and a towel. The lighting in the room is good, and most of it comes from a natural sunlight, which can be pretty bright if you're someone who sleeps during the day. Each room has a trash bin, a recycling bucket, plus every bunk comes with its own locker. They ask you to bring your own lock, but I didn't. I just kind of left my stuff in the locker unlocked, and it was fine. However, that is completely personal choice. You're also gonna have a wall light in your bunk. It has 2 plugs on it, but mine were old and slightly hard to plug in. For a basic, dorm bunk, I was honestly surprised at how comfortable I was. I'd say the only real downside was all the creaking.
The beds make this god-awful noise if you even move an inch. But that's about it, really.
Okay, it is officially time for us to talk about the one part of an American hostel I dread. The bathrooms. Really, Americans are not known for having the cleanest of spaces, but this hostel not only has restrooms on each floor, they were huge and clean as well. They have 3 toilets with at least automatic flush. The vanity area had 5 sinks, and on each side you find a hairdryer. There's also a trash, and on top of that, some rolled up bath mats for the shower floors. I am so picky about showers, so I was so happy to see these were so well taken care of. They also have this nice little dry area for your clothing with 2 hooks and a small bench. They had a shower curtain to protect the area and a small basket for your soap. They also had a shampoo dispenser if you needed it. Another benefit to me about these showers were like how large they were. I'm a small person, but I like to think about other travelers, and honestly, shower spaces run really small. So this was a huge plus. Moving back towards the door, you're gonna find a hand dryer and the basket that you leave your mat in. There are also toilets located on the first floor, which also brings us to our next point of interest, the kitchen. If you keep going all the way through the cafeteria and then through this door, you're gonna find the kitchen. Over to the right, you've got most of the ovens and stovetops, along with a few industrial toasters. Then to the left, the space really opens up. There are a few large refrigerators and a smaller upright freezer. If you keep following this wall, you'll see the storage area for communal snacks and pantry items. And then towards the back, you'll find the staff fridges. Spanning around, there are even more bins, some for shared ingredients and some personal. Usually you can tell by checking the labels. Over on this side, there are a few more stoves, and this is where you'll start seeing utensils, mixing bowls, and pots. If you're more of a microwave person, there are 3 of them, but if you actually want to cook, they have a solid collection of pots, baking sheets, and pans. Plates are stored next to the microwaves, along with the forks, knives, and spoons. Even though this kitchen area is a bit unorganized, it's actually surprisingly large, which is great, especially in an expensive city like this. But if cooking isn't really your thing, and you're just looking for a small bite, you can totally head across the cafeteria to this little snack room with vending machines. They have a snack machine with sandwiches, ramen, cereal, and even a few other options, plus a drink machine, and even a boba machine. But it was out of order when I was there, and I was super bummed. There are also a few free items. There's coffee in the cafeteria and a water fountain in the hallway. Next to the snack area, you'll find the pool table, which is actually used pretty often, and I think it's a great icebreaker for travelers. Now, panning over the actual cafeteria, you'll see that there's plenty of seating. The bright colors and fun design and huge windows almost makes it feel like you're outside. And the tables and chairs are sturdy and big, so it's a great place to eat or just hang out and play games. In the corner, there's a collection of balls and towels and boogie boards that you're completely free to use. When I stayed here, they also did serve free breakfast, but I wouldn't expect much. It was just coffee and instant oats. This whole area feels like the heart of the hostel, which makes sense when you see this place at night. It actually gets pretty lively down here. And when it gets too packed, the crowd spills out into the courtyard. So wrapping it all up in something warm and cozy, let's go over the laundry. See what I did there? The laundry room is down here on the right, past the restrooms. On one side, there's a sink and paper towels. Then there's also a coin changer and a dispenser for bleach and detergents. Then you have 3 top loading dryers and 3 bottom loading washers. And over here to the side, there's an extra dryer. They do have instructions in small print, but they also provide a photo explanation of the more questionable parts on the door. But the best part is they even have an ironing board. No, really, that's so rare. Okay, it's time to think about who's this hostel for. LA is a big, big, big city. And instead of building up, they build out. So what does that even mean? When you're visiting here, you kind of need to stay in the area that you want to visit. If you're renting a car, it can be a headache and a half because parking is so expensive and a lot of places don't even offer it. Plus, our rental system has a lot of scams in it. So keeping all of that in mind, it's kind of obvious that this is best for people who want to stay around this area. The bus system around here is actually pretty decent. It can get you to everywhere from like UCLA, definitely down to Venice Beach. And like I mentioned earlier, there's plenty of things to do here just within like walking distance, including so many scenic beachside trails if you love a good walk. I'd say that this place is great for short-term travelers, like people vacationing here, or if you're just in town for an event. If you happen to be someone that's trying to relocate to the area, a hostel's actually a really good idea while you're looking around for like your apartment. However, if you feel like you're gonna be there for maybe longer than a week, you should actually check out PodShare. I'll just go ahead and leave the link for that one here in the end screen. And with that, I bid you a farewell. Mwah.